Alright, what's going on everybody, it's Liam here. Welcome to today's video on the channel, and in today's video I have a commentary for y'all. And basically we're going to be talking about the lore spell audit that's coming up. Now basically Artie the dev, obviously, just like Rapbeard, has spoke about this in streams and confirmed essentially that there is going to be a spell audit to lore spells. And I believe Rapbeard said that they're just going to like reevaluate like DPP in general. I think like try and put it on like the same ground, like the same table, I think. So that's pretty cool. Now what does this mean, right? What does this mean? If you know you're a casual. Basically spells that have been in the game for some time now, like Brimstone and Krampus, right? You might see these cards change a little bit, right? Personally, you know, I think Brimstone will probably get more damage. You know, it's a 4-pip fire hit that, you know, is a little bit underwhelming, in my opinion. The utility does suit its school identity, but you look at a different card like Krampus, which is very below the damage per pip for fire, and it has a mantle, which isn't fire school identity, right? So, for a card like Krampus, you would expect the spell audit to give it more damage, right? And then either take away the utility or replace the utility with something of, you know, fire school identity, right? Whether that's like a fuel or, you know, like an overtime fuel or, you know, put on some overtimes, stuff like that is essentially my point here. And the reason this is good is for, I mean, a variety of reasons. My main reason is because most lore spells, or, you know, lore spells as in like Keeper, Lore Master, you know, Ship of Fools, all that kind of jazz, you know, most of those cards are fairly underwhelming, right? They're cool cards. I'm not hating on any cards here specifically. They're a lot of cool cards, a lot of cool animations, but for what they do, for the amount of pips, like, you know, you could look at Catalan, for example, for Storm. Or the Handsome Fomori for Ice, right? Pretty cool looking cards, but they're kind of, you know, deemed useless because of, you know, the competition they have, obviously, at their pip cost. Now, this is a good change because, for example, in the PvP meta right now, I think you only see 2 or 3 lore cards out of, like, I don't know. Somebody could probably count and let me know in the comments below. But maybe there's like what 20. I think probably like 20 lore cards in the game. I could be wrong. There could be more. Could be less. But I would say it's around 20. And there's literally 3 being used in spam on repeat in PvP. And it's been like this way for years, right? And recently, within this past, I think year, or is it 2 years already? I don't know. I think it's the past year. Rochambeau has came in, obviously. Each school, you know, obviously, has their school identity. Rochambeau basically amplifies that, and, you know, there's layers to that, which is pretty darn cool. But the lore spells don't follow, most of the lore spells, I'd say majority, do not follow the new Rochambeau balancing system that the developers have put in place for, you know, Wizard101 in general. Again, you can look at Krampus here for fire. Fire school identity is for obviously overtimes and obviously trap stack as well, right? You can see that on its cards and obviously like literally written into the game when you make a fire wizard. So like, why does it have like a hit and mantle, you know? Like little things like this are basically gonna be what's gonna be changed. And like I said, like in Krampus's case, I would expect the damage to go up a lot because fire is the second hardest hitting school in the game right now. Obviously, you know, second to Storm. So I would expect the utility to be different and the damage per pip, or the damage value, to increase greatly. But yeah, the 3 lore spells that have been spammed for a while now are obviously Luminous Weaver, right? I think we all know about that one. Headless, that is literally a Storm card on a Death Wizard. And obviously Lore Master, which is now really good when you tier 5 it, which is, you know, kinda whatever in its own regard. Now personally me, I'm someone who has grinded obviously all of my lore spells. I usually see here I have max tier Lumi. I spent money on Ratspin, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I spent money to get tier 2 and I've farmed up to tier 4 so far. So I've committed pretty hard to these lure spells, and you know, part of me is a little bit worried that, you know, it might not be the same once they're audited, or they might be worse. They could be better, right? Obviously, but I don't think the devs are gonna like butcher, you know, like the spells that we value. You know, I'm talking about like, you know, rat spin here, for example. Life wizards love rat spin. Is rat spin really a problem anywhere? No, not really. You know, maybe the damage per pip might change, or you might get a heal blade, or like a heal overtime, or you might get a separate path, like a top path for damage and a bottom path for utility on rat spin, right? That kind of stuff. I wouldn't really expect to see the cards get absolutely butchered. And I know a lot of people are probably gonna be overreacting to this thing. I don't think that's the case. You know, talking to the devs, I can tell they're very considerate about, you know, players' time investment. You know, I put in the time to max tier my Luminous Weaver. You know, arguably Luminous is a broken card, and objectively it does not follow the school identity of a Life Wizard, right? If y'all don't know, Life is supposed to counter traps and have heal overtimes, so why does it have like a hit and weakness, right? So yeah, they're just kind of, I think they're just trying to standardize the game and trying to get all these lore spells on the same boat, so it can be balanced and fair and even between all the schools, and the school identity of their Shambo can be, you know, inherited via the lore spells here. And like I said, I think this is a great change. Even though I am somebody who spent money and put all this time in, I do think this is a step in the right direction for the overall like balance of the game, especially for PvP, especially. But yeah, if you hop on a Storm Wizard here real quick, you'll see their spells are just horrible again. Like you look at Catalan, it's like you get 10 damage. You get 10 damage, bro, for upgrading Catalan. It's 40 damage to max tier it. And the utility is the same, and the utility is horrible. It's like, what are they doing? So I'm really looking forward to see like the really bad cards like Catalan, Hammer of Thor, Handsome Fomori, Lord and Knight for death as well. All those cards that are really, really trash. I'm really looking forward to seeing those being better with the spell audit. Because I think it's just, you know, kind of unfair that Life can spam Lumi, Balance can spam Lore, Death can spam Headless, but every other school doesn't have a lore spell they can spam because, you know, theirs just simply aren't as good, right? So yeah, I just really like to see, again, like these bad ones, like I'm talking Lord of Night, Hammer Thor, Catalan, anything else y'all could, you know, let me know in the comments below, obviously. I just generally think that players should not overreact to this change. For two reasons, right? A lot of people complain about not getting updates, but like this is an update, and objectively speaking, right, they're trying to make the game more standardized and more balanced and a more fun experience. And I've actually seen some counterpoints to that, which I don't particularly agree with, but I'm gonna bring them up in this video. And it's like, oh, people complain about X and Y, right? But then you ask those people and they're just like, oh, well, it was fun when I could, you know, when I could shit on people with this broken card. And it's like, okay, cool, but like, do you realize when like that didn't follow, you weren't supposed to have that, it wasn't your school identity, right? It wasn't the root of your school. That should never have been a thing in the first place, right? So I get the argument of people just like wanting to have fun and be like, oh, well, if I win, I win no matter what. It doesn't matter how I win, you know? So I guess I get that, the fun casual side of it, but for the right thing to do, for like the game design and the game balance, this definitely is one of the better things that the devs can be doing for PvP. And I think overall just for like the just to, you know, breathe a bit of fresh air into the life of the game, just change it up a bit, you know, spice it up a bit. I think that is really great. I know when the Shambo stuff came out, a lot of people didn't like it. I was a bit hesitant myself, but you cannot deny that when the Shambo stuff came out, it was like honestly a lot of fun to test out all those spells. A lot of new strategies were being, a lot of new strats were being tested in the arena. It was wild, it was fun, and then people started packing counters to the counters, and it got crazy, and every match was different. And then we kind of settled into a meta that is, you know, obviously been stale for a little while now in PvP. But yeah, I am looking forward to see what you guys have to say about this in the comments below. What spells do you think should be audited? Do you think this is a bad idea? I'll be looking forward to see what y'all got to say down there. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you made it this far, a like rating is always appreciated. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for being here, and as always, take care, guys.